In April 1945, the Western Allied invasion of Germany is encountering strong resistance. Don Wardaddy Collier, a battle-hardened staff sergeant in the U.S. 2nd Armored Division, commands an M4 Sherman nicknamed Fury, whose crew of gunner Boyd, Bible, Swan, loader Grady, Coon-Ass, Travis, driver Trini, Gordo, Garcia, and assistant driver, bow gunner Red, have been together since the North African campaign. After Red is killed in a tank battle, he is replaced by Private First Class Norman Ellison, a young typist clerk from V Corps. As Fury moves deeper into Germany, the crew develops a disdain for Norman's combat inexperience and aversion to violence. While moving in a convoy, he spots but does not fire upon a group of concealed Hitler Youth child soldiers who promptly ambush the tank column with a Panzerfaust, destroying the lead tank and killing the platoon leader and his crew. Later, he hesitates under fire from anti-tank guns. After a battle, Don orders Norman to execute a captured German soldier. When he refuses, Don wrestles his revolver into Norman's hand and forces him to pull the trigger, killing the soldier and traumatizing Norman. After the platoon captures a small town, Don takes Norman to help search and clear an apartment where they discover 2 German women, Irma and her younger cousin Emma, in hiding. After Don gives them some supplies, the women begin preparing a hot meal and give Don hot water for a shave. As they begin to bond, Norman and Emma retreat to the bedroom and have sex, having been prompted to do so by Don. Later, as the 4 sit down to eat together, the rest of Fury's crew drunkenly barges in, harassing the women and bullying Norman. The crew's resentment towards Norman leads to a tense standoff with Don before they all are called away for an urgent mission. As they depart, German artillery strikes the town and kills Emma, causing Norman to suffer a mental breakdown. Tank crews occupying the town receive orders to hold a vital crossroads to protect the division's vulnerable rear lines. En route, a lone German Tiger I ambushes and wipes out the entire platoon before being defeated by Fury. The radio gets damaged in the battle, preventing Don from calling for reinforcements. Don decides that he and his crew must continue the mission alone. When they arrive at the crossroads, Fury is immobilized by a landmine. While the tank is being repaired, Don sends Norman to scout a nearby hill where he spots a battalion of Waffen-SS marching towards Fury's position. He returns to inform the crew and they make plans to retreat, but ultimately stay to help Don hold the crossroads after he refuses to leave. The men disguise Fury to make it appear destroyed and then hide inside. While they wait to make their final stand, Norman is nicknamed Machine as the crew members finally express their acceptance of him. They then ambush the Germans, inflicting heavy casualties. As a vicious and protracted battle ensues, Grady is killed by a Panzerfaust shot that penetrates the turret. Gordo is shot while unpinning a grenade and falls back into the tank with it, subsequently sacrificing himself by covering it with his body as it explodes, and Bible is shot in the head by small arms fire. Don is then shot by a sniper and retreats into the tank. Out of ammunition and surrounded, Don tells Norman to escape through the floor hatch as the Germans drop grenades into the tank. Norman slips out just before they explode and Don is killed. As he tries to conceal himself underneath the tank, Norman is spotted by a young Waffen-SS soldier who does not alert the battalion and moves on. Waking up the next morning, Norman crawls back into the tank and mourns over Don's corpse before covering him with his jacket and taking his revolver. He is then rescued by a group of American soldiers and heralded as a hero. While he is driven away in an ambulance, he looks back at Fury's carcass as American troops continue their advance. The final overhead image shows Fury surrounded by hundreds of dead Waffen-SS soldiers.